This is a 1972 Leyland mini van, and it is without doubt the cutest van that has ever been produced. We all love the Mini. It's just one of those cars that can't fail to put a smile on your face, and for me this van is the purest expression of what the Mini was designed to be. There are no frills, just brilliant engineering and even better practicality. The Mini was launched in 1959 as both the Austin 7 and Morris Mini Minor, but within 12 months a few other variants had arrived. There was an estate and the commercial van and pickup. The estate and van were styled for nothing but practicality, simply a long roof and a square back with barn doors that are as wide as the body allows. These all sat on a wheelbase 10 centimetres longer than the standard Mini for an added dose of practicality. Overall, the van is 3.26 metres long, some 20 centimetres longer than a saloon, and they're 1.4 metres wide. Minis are very small. So small we sometimes forget, and when you walk up to one, you're taken in by just how brilliantly it's packaged. This makes the van rather petite as a commercial vehicle. The payload for a minivan is 254 kilos, which is not an enormous amount, so who would be buying a minivan? Well, it was usually a delivery person, so the local baker that would run around the village, or maybe the local television repair company. Local things for local people. On a larger scale, the Royal Mail used them for their deliveries, and on a grander scale, the RAC and AA used them as patrol vehicles. Being the commercial variants, a lot less attention was paid to the trimmings on the van and pickup. The most obvious difference is this metal grille. When Alec Izagonis styled his marvellous little creation, he proposed this metal slatted grille at the front. But others at BMC knew this was a step too far and fitted the posher grille that we see on Minis today. Izagonis did get his way with the van and pickup though, which do have this original slatted grille. And I think it adds to the aura of practicality and utilitarianism that this van has. It does also mean that it's an absolute pig to get to the distributor though. Early Minis had external door hinges and these primitive handles, the kind you'd usually find on your house. But when the Mini was refreshed in 1969, it got internal hinges and these new handles. The van and pickup of course retains the Mark I style as a display of their crude practicality. This particular van has just been restored and trimmed in this gorgeous tan leather that is really high quality. From factory this van would have just had black vinyl, but this tan just adds a little bit of style to the van without taking away any of its nature. Everything else in here is ridiculously simple, and it makes the most use of its external dimensions through sliding windows that allow these huge door bins. In front of you is nothing but open space, just this huge T-shelf and the famous central dials of a Mini. Just a speedometer, fuel gauge, oil pressure gauge and water temperature gauge with the switch panel below it. The panel carries controls for the choke and heater on either end, though the heater one on this car has been removed, with rocker switches for the hazard lights, headlamps and brake fluid warning lamp that lights up to test the bulb when you press it. Jutting out at a jaunty angle is the two-spoke Bakelite wheel that makes the steering so much lighter and more delicate. Behind it are the classic BL stalks, indicators, main beam and your horn on the left, then your twin-speed wipers on the right. If you're wondering, these gubbins here are Alex's hand controls, and the only other controls in the car really is the gear lever and the handbrake. This gear lever is the rod style change, which is different from many vans that had the Magic Wand change that went directly into the bulkhead. But behind that bulkhead isn't the standard engine. Under here is an A-series, the same overhead valve 4-cylinder engine fitted to every Mini produced. For 1972 in the van you could get it in 848cc or 998cc variants, producing either 34 or 40 brake horsepower. In an attempt to liven this one up a little bit, it's had the 1275cc A+ engine from an MG Metro fitted. And if you really don't know your Minis, there is no way of telling that this isn't the correct engine. And if we're being extra pedantic, the engine block should be black for a Leyland minivan of this age, but the old BMC green block is a bit better looking in my opinion. Further modifications have been made to the brakes. Underneath these little 10-inch steel wheels are disc brakes. No van ever got discs as standard, and even in saloon form only Coopers and the 1275 GT got discs before 1984. As with all Minis of this era, it rides on rubber cones and telescopic dampers. All these elements mean this car is a brilliant compromise between performance and history. It retains all of the character and appearance of the original van, with the modifications that make it an absolute hoot to drive. Minis are all pretty harshly sprung, but the bigger engine of this one and the fact that it's a van makes it a rawer experience. The noises all reverberate around the load bay. As a toy in 2020, that's only a good thing. Surely the crowning glory of this one is not that compromise, but the hand-painted sign writing that encapsulates the era that these vans are in service. Cast construction is Alex's family business. The C stands for Clive, his granddad, the A stands for Alan, his dad, the S stands for Sandra, his nana, and the T stands for Toon, his family name. This is a little tribute to them, and especially his dad, who passed away in 2014. Alex has a YouTube channel of his own where he messes around with his collection of Minis. I'll leave a link to it in the description, please do go and check it out. The Mini was a revelation. It set the precedent for small cars with transverse engine and front wheel drive, and we often forget just how ridiculously successful it actually was. At one point in 1960, 19% of cars sold were Minis. That's nearly 1 in 5 new cars sold in Britain in that month that were Minis. It's the most successful British car of all time, and for very, very good reason. As I said before, this van is the perfect view of the Mini's practicality and engineering. For now, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do click like and subscribe to TwinCam as well. I'll have more videos coming along soon.